Taurus, the pride of the Ford fleet. It has a blown fuel pump. And in a car like this, that's a death knell. Because what it's going to cost on a mechanic to buy the fuel pump and have it replaced, you could buy another one of these. Well, maybe not this one. This is an SCL. It's got leather seats, all the safety options, and it's the 24 valve double overhead cam model. V6, the whopping 211 horsepower. These are peppy little buggers. This is a nice model. So what we're going to do is we're going to save it. I'm going to pull the fuel tank out and we're going to replace that pump. And I'm going to show you how. Not just show you how, but show you that you can do this in your backyard with just regular tools. Come with me. First thing you got to do when you're working on a car, anything really, especially if you're working on the fuel tank, disconnect the battery. You got to take off the hot and the neutral. I take them both out, just separate them, get them out of the way of these, because you know, sparks and gasoline, not a good mix. Okay, so here we are under the vehicle. To give you some reference, this is the driver's side, this is the passenger side. There's our fuel tank, and right here what we have is our filler hose. This is the breather hose, and this goes to the charcoal canister. What you want to do is get your alligator, get your little hose clamps off of here, off of these guys, and these are probably going to be stuck. So what I suggest you do is you get like a screwdriver and you go around on these edges and get these out, because they're going to be corroded on there. And if you do find your hoses are bent anywhere, I suggest replacing them. Nobody likes leaky fuel. And right here, you have this little yellow clip which goes onto the charcoal canister, and he comes out quite conveniently. You just wiggle and jiggle with the screwdriver and you get him out like that. Come on, baby. Okay. Alright, so next thing we got to do is we're going to support the fuel tank before we take the straps out. What I suggest doing is get you a nice piece, stable, flat, thick piece of plywood. You're going to put that on top of the jack, give it a bit more stability, kind of keep that metal tension off that thin gas tank. Alright, now that we have our fuel lines disconnected, we got to drop the tank. So there's these straps that hold the tank up. There's one on each side. You got a bolt right there, right next to the fuel fillers, and there's one right on the other side, right there. These are both 13 millimeter sockets. I suggest you get a nice extension. Get them up there, get them loose, and then from there, I'm going to show you how to take the pins out on the other side to get the straps out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those things they don't tell you about when you learn how to do these things, but I'm fixing to learn you right now. So there's a pin and it goes inside here and it holds up the strap. There's a hole on one side, not on the other. What you got to do is you got to take a screwdriver, you got to jiggle that pin around until it comes out this hole. Then you got to gently pull the pin out of that hole, removing the strap. Okay, so the next thing that has to be done is we're going to lower the fuel tank. So let's get on that. Pay attention to the angle that the fuel tank is at. You're going to have to get it up like that to get it back in. Also, look at the front lip of the tank. You're going to have to get that up over the exhaust pipe and over where the pins go in to hold up the straps. See that lip? Remember that when you go to put it back in. There's a couple hoses and plugs that need to be taken out. Plug for your fuel. Ta-da! Okay, so we've got a plug to take off here and get off its harness before we take out the fuel sender and pump. This is the line that goes to the fuel filter. I'm also going to replace the fuel filter, so we'll add that in. So what you want to do is counterclockwise, you want to knock on these and try and spin this off. Do this really carefully. Have a hose nearby. Make sure you don't create any unnecessary sparks. Some people like to do this with like a bronze tool or wood, but it doesn't really work. This stuff's real hard, so just be careful. There she comes. There it is, just like that. Okay, so here's our new gasket and our new unit. First, we're going to gently put this gasket in here. I already warmed it up in the sun, but the day got long and the sun left me. She's still a bit pliable, so let's just get her in there. Actually, she fits quite nice. So what we do is we get our float in there like that. You want to hold up your little bladder, don't get it ripped on there. We're going to slowly fandangle her in there. Now there's a spring on it. Bounces up and down kind of. So it keeps it gently situated at the bottom of the tank. So what you can do is you can get your ring. We'll go over your wires here. And you're going to get him ready, because the spring's going to pop him back up. Okay, so it started pouring out, like heavy Central Florida style. So we had to take a pause and put on some dry clothes, and it's cleared up for the rest of the afternoon. So we got the fuel tank pushed in here. What we're going to do is we're going to slowly get it up in the spot. What you want to do is you want to bring it up front end first, and there's a lip on it, and you want to bring that lip over the exhaust. Once you get it over the exhaust, push it forward. And you want to make sure you have these brackets down first before you get the tank in. And you can lift it up by these brackets with a piece of plywood. Kind of get it into a good spot. Seems like we're at one. And then you just have to adjust yourself where your bracket goes in. So we have a little further up to go before we can get her on the spot. It looks like she's getting close. Ooh. All right, so let's see if I can just get her in there. All right, that one is in. That's a great thing. And I use some penetrating oil on these first. Kind of help me out, because this is underneath the vehicle. This is a long bolt too. You know, if you're just the average mechanic like me and you don't have air tools, things like this take a lot of time. in there. I think this also holds the trunk on. This bolt's so long. Alright, she's snugging. Alright, now I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. All you backyard mechanics know the scooch. Hey, scooch up in here. She looks like she's going to make it too. I think I got it in a good spot. Now, there's one plug that you want to get in. Up by the fuel filter on the top of the tank. Oh yeah, she's going right in. And you want to make sure you get that aside and plugged in before you lift it all the way, so it doesn't get trapped in the tank, on the top of the tank, and you gotta lower it again and get it out like I did. Oh, and she's going right in, which is an awesome thing. Last but not least, I want to reattach our fuel hoses, and we're just going to do that the opposite way we put them on. Make sure your rings are all available on the lines, ready to go. Since we already took them off, they're going to go on quite easily. Okay, so we got the pump in, the tank back up, got the vehicle lowered. It's time to give her a start. Now, what we're going to have to do here is, first let's give it a turn. Let's listen to that fuel pump whine. Yeah. Now we're going to give her 3 cranks and a key here, waiting a few seconds in between to build up the pressure on the fuel rail if we give it a start, because all those lines are going to be empty and out of pressure. Oh, listen to that. Let's give her one more. Well, let's give her a go. That's a beautiful thing. But hey, look, we just saved ourselves $1,500, $2,000. Bought the pump ourselves, load the tank, put it in, put the tank back up. It took me a little over an hour to get the tank out and the pump out. A little less than an hour to get it back in. Here we are, we're back on the road. You know, I hope I helped you, if not at least motivated you. Show you how this can be done in your backyard with simple tools. We take a 10mm socket, extension, Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, maybe a pipe wrench if that's how your hose is connected. You know, we did it. We're back on the road. And if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And you can follow the channel. We're going to do a lot more work to this vehicle. We're going to get her ship shape. Also going to do some other work to this vehicle, some smart projects I worked on. So please follow me and give us a like. Check out my channel. Thank you very much.